Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a massive paradigm shift when it comes to wealth creation. We're going to unpack some absolutely incredible insights from Jack Ma, looking at exactly how he went from having practically nothing to becoming a billionaire. But, and here's the spoiler alert, he didn't do it by obsessing over dollar signs. Not at all. He actually did it by shifting away from this desperation-driven mindset and moving completely into a problem-solving one. Trust me, this is going to totally rewire how you think about success and value. So be honest with me for a second. What do you want most in life? If you're like, well, pretty much everyone, your immediate gut reaction might just be money. More money, fast money, easy money. And listen, I completely get it. It is such a universal, totally valid desire, especially when you're just starting out or, when you're just trying to keep your head above water. Jack Ma felt the exact same way. When he was young and broke, he'd watch people drive by nice cars or wearing fancy clothes, and he thought, man, they must know some secret I don't. He honestly believed that if he just had money, absolutely everything in his life would be fixed. But here's where we hit a really crucial realization. Jack realized he was asking entirely the wrong question. See, in his early days, he did what everyone else was doing. He chased the cash. He hunted for the jobs that paid the highest. He looked for whatever opportunity had the biggest profit margin. I mean, he was literally thinking about making money morning, noon, and night. And you know what happened? Absolutely nothing. Zilch. He was still broke, still struggling, and still feeling stuck. Because here is the brutal truth that people rarely tell you. The folks who chase money the hardest, they're usually the ones who never actually catch it. Then, one day, Jack just stopped. He totally dropped the old way of asking, how do I get money? And he started asking himself entirely different questions. He started asking, okay, what am I actually good at? What do I genuinely love doing? What real-world problem do I actually want to solve? That pivot, shifting your focus from just grabbing cash to finding something you actually care about, it changes the whole game. That was the exact turning point in his life. It turns out, the people who stop frantically chasing money are the ones the money finally starts following. Okay, this next concept is a serious heavy hitter, so lock this in. Money is not a goal, money is a result. Think about it. When you make money your main goal, you inevitably get desperate. And what do desperate people do? Well, they make terrible choices. They take super risky shortcuts, they break people's trust, and they ruin relationships. And the crazy irony is, at the end of all that chaos, they still don't have any money. But if you make value the goal, if you ask how you can help more people or fix a bigger problem, money automatically shows up as a byproduct of that value. Just look at the story of Alibaba. It perfectly illustrates this. Jack Ma didn't build this massive global empire just to get rich. He built it because he looked around and saw literally millions of small businesses in China that were completely stuck. They couldn't get their products out to the rest of the world, and nobody was stepping up to help them. So he didn't wake up asking, how do I become a billionaire today? No, he just asked, how do I help these millions of people? He solved a massive problem for real people, and the wealth that followed was way beyond anything he could have imagined. Real problems, when you solve them, always pay you back. Let's talk about the 3 costly money mistakes. Even Jack Ma completely admits to falling into all of these traps early on. They are super common, but they will absolutely sabotage your long-term success. So let's shine a light on them right now so you can avoid them on your own journey. All right, let's break these down. Mistake number 1, chasing the trending thing. You know how it is. Every few years, there's a new gold rush, right? Crypto, drop shipping, AI tools. People just dive in because they heard some guy on the internet made a quick buck. But listen, if you only do something for the cash, you are going to quit the exact second it gets difficult. And spoiler alert, it always gets difficult. Mistake 2 is wanting money fast. When you rush, you're not building a solid base. And mistake 3, comparing your money to others. Scrolling social media just makes you panic, feel like you're falling behind, and take wild risks. Compare yourself today only to who you were yesterday. I really want this metaphor to sink in. Jack Ma loves to say slow is fast and fast is slow. When you try to get rich overnight, you end up skipping all the stuff that actually matters. You skip the messy learning phase, the trust-building phase, and laying down a real foundation. It's like building a skyscraper on sand. A building with no foundation might look totally fine for a little while, but one day it inevitably comes crashing down. The best businesses are built slowly, and true wealth is earned just laying one solid brick at a time. All right, now for the real twist. What money actually is. This is a much deeper, philosophical realization that almost all standard financial advice completely misses. Most of the stuff you read will just say, hey, work hard, pinch your pennies, and invest. And yeah, logically, sure, that's true. But there is a much deeper underlying current to wealth creation that explains why some incredibly hardworking people stay broke forever, while others just seem to naturally attract wealth. It really boils down to this: money is energy. Now, stay with me. I know that sounds a little woo-woo or abstract, but think about it functionally for a second. When you do work that you genuinely, truly love, you naturally pour your absolute full energy into it. You aren't watching the clock tick down to 5 p.m. You aren't just doing the bare minimum to get by. You're pouring your actual life force into the project. And that raw energy, that is the starting point for literally everything else. Watch how this sets off this incredible chain reaction. Step 1, you absolutely love what you do. Step 2, that love naturally creates massive energy. Step 3, because you're giving it your all, you start producing true excellence. Step 4, when people see that kind of excellent work, it builds undeniable trust. And step 5, when people trust you, they pay you, they come back, and they tell everyone they know about you. Trust converts straight to money. That right there, that is the hidden formula for wealth. But flip that around. What happens if you're only showing up for the paycheck? The cycle completely snaps right at step 1. Because there's no love for the work, you're realistically only giving half your energy. Because your energy is low, you end up producing average, totally forgettable work. And people can feel that, right? They can feel that lack of care. So they don't trust you, and they certainly don't come back. This perfectly explains why you can have super talented, Ivy League educated people totally flop in business, while someone with way less formal education just crushes it. The difference isn't talent, it's whether love or just cold hard cash is driving the engine. Okay, so how do we actually apply all of this? I mean, it's one thing to nod along to the philosophy, but it's a whole other thing to wake up tomorrow morning and actually put it into practice. So let's get into some practical steps to start attracting money that you can literally begin doing today. Here is your game plan. First, find a problem you actually want to solve. Look for things that personally frustrate you in your daily life. That frustration is literally your seed for money. Second, become undeniable at just one thing. The market pays incredibly well for excellence, but it pays next to nothing for average. If you practice one specific skill deeply every single day for a year, you will easily beat 90% of your competition. And third, give before you take. Share your knowledge, fix small problems for free. Trust is built by giving. Value comes first, trust comes second, and the money comes third. Never, ever mix up that order. I'm going to leave you with this incredibly powerful thought. If you're sitting there right now feeling like you're falling behind, I want you to know you aren't actually behind. You've just been asking the wrong question all along. You have to stop asking how to get money. Instead, ask yourself this: what can you do so excellently that the world has absolutely no choice but to pay you for it? Figure that out, pour your energy into it, and I promise you, the money